The King R here, back once again with Madden Simulation. And guess what? Madden actually got one right. It only took 5 weeks it was or so. Let's see. Well, after a 4-week losing streak, Madden actually got one right with Pittsburgh defeating the Baltimore Ravens. What was the final in that one? I clicked on the wrong thing there. Pittsburgh yet again pulls one out late thanks to their fourth killer bee, Boswell? Yeah. I think that's his name. 39-38. So yet again another close game for the Steelers to wrap up their 4 straight game prime time games. This week's game of the week we have the Pittsburgh Steelers again hosting the New England Patriots. They are taking, like I said, they're taking on the New England Patriots. We join them late in the third quarter as usual. And at the moment, the Pittsburgh Steelers are behind the defending Super Bowl champions. What was it, 9-12, I do believe. So we've had, the kickers go at it, and it's just been a defensive game and a kickers game apparently. And Heinz Field is not known for being a kicking field. Not the best, but let's dive deep on some of the news that has happened this past week. And I think, I'm pretty sure trying to remember, Ben McAdoo, he got fired, and GM got fired from New York Giants. Eli Manning was benched for a week, and not that he was benched for the week. He was just
It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams.
He decided that yes, he didn't want to play if you're going to make that switch at quarterback. So so on and so forth. But I do feel like I am digressing. But lo and behold, what happened to the Giants? They got a smack and a beating by their old arch rivals, the Dallas Cowboys, 30-10. And what were Manning's stats? Manning was 31 for 46, 228 yards, 1 touchdown, but he had 2 interceptions. So I guess same old. But some of the bigger news that happened, which I'll get to in a sec. Just that injury bug once again. But before I dive deep into that, the Cleveland Browns, they almost saw their first win of the season as they were taking on my Green Bay Packers. They were winning 21-7 heading into the fourth quarter. Their second time they've had a lead all year in the fourth. But lo and behold, the Green Bay Packers, they came roaring back. Early fourth, they pulled within a touchdown. Late in the fourth quarter, had a huge punt return. Only had to go 25 yards in 3 minutes, 2 minutes, so on. Got the game tied, forced overtime, and Deshaun Kaiser looked like Tom Brady. But lo and behold, his inner Jay Cutler came out, and on third and short, on third and short, his target wasn't open. Packers rushed him, forced him to throw the ball high, deep in the air, just get picked off, and a few plays later, Packers prevailed once again in overtime to make Brett Hundley's overtime record now 2-0 compared to Aaron Rodgers 1-7. And speaking of Rodgers, apparently he was medically cleared earlier this week and is slated to be activated on Friday and start for the Packers come this Sunday against the Carolina Panthers.
Tell you what they're looking for and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on
we have that looking forward to. Get to that in a little bit. But, Monday Night Football this week, Jay Cutler outshined the GOAT. And Tom Brady had 2 interceptions, but yet he hasn't been that great in South Florida, in Miami. But it just shows that how important this game, Pittsburgh, New England, is. Winner, it will get the tiebreaker and home field advantage, most likely throughout the playoffs. But backtracking, let's go back to injuries. Injuries. We have yet again a big name, young big name, getting hurt, prevailing his team to victory. But Carson Wentz, he suffered a teared ACL in this game against the Los Angeles Rams, and now he is done for the rest of the season. The Eagles, who now have the best record in the NFC yet again because of the Panthers beating the Vikings, and at 11-2 have to turn to their backup, former starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, who has some experience, who had thrown for 7 touchdowns in one game, Nick Foles. And the question becomes, can the Eagles still ride this high train with Nick Foles as quarterback? And it's very possible. It's nothing like the Green Bay Packers where they had to turn to Brett Hundley, who did not take a snap, did not start a regular NFL game, has not played for a handful of games. Hundley, he was still green. Nick Foles, he's at least got his foot wet, splashing in the water. So, and the one thing that Philly has that Green Bay doesn't have, they have a defense. And so they can rely on their defense to keep them in the game. And Nick Foles doesn't, mess up this and that. They're still there. So, but it just seems like yet again another ACL, another big name go down. But another big name goes down, another big name comes back. Like I said, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is back. I don't know about better than ever. We'll find out this weekend. But it's just I don't know, scary, cautious, because we know Carolina's going to be coming all over Green Bay. They're not going to be holding anything back. They're going to be coming after Rodgers. They're going to be pressuring him, and you never know. One big hit, down goes Rodgers, and he's hurt again. So is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? Yes. Packers are 7-6. Playoff hopes are still alive, but even Aaron Rodgers says, I'm not here to save the Packers season. I'm not here to save the season. Rodgers was saying he does believe that they can win the last 3 games. He believes that if everyone does their part, they can pull it through and so on and so forth and rise to the occasion. But there's so much that needs to happen for the Packers to make the playoffs. 1, they need a win out, and 2, they need at least 2 teams to stumble along the way. And it's possible. But the thing is, they don't have too many tiebreakers. They do not have the tiebreaker over Atlanta. They do not have the tiebreaker over New Orleans. They get to play the Carolina this weekend, beat them. They have the tiebreaker over them. They have the tiebreaker over Dallas. They have the tiebreaker over Seattle. But it's too. Who knows? Who knows? But other teams, though, that have already clinched their ticket to the postseason include, Philadelphia. They officially won the East. Pittsburgh, they won the AFC North. New England, I don't think they have punched their ticket in quite yet. Check on that in just a second. But I know if they would have won this past Monday night, they would have been NFC East champs for a 9th year in a row. And that's just crazy. After having a perfect season 10 years ago, the following season, Tom Brady blew out his ACL in the very first game. They went 11-5, but missed. They did not win the East, and they did not make the playoffs. That's the last time the Patriots did not make the playoffs. Every year since 2009 onward. AFC North or AFC East champs, and maybe one or two other teams from the East. Not the same time, but has made the playoffs as well. Oh, moving on. And there's only one other team that has made the playoffs the same number of years, and that has been the Green Bay Packers. The Packers and the New England Patriots have made the playoffs every year since 2009. And for the Patriots, it's been a cakewalk. For the Packers, they've been, hanging on to threads. And, it might just finally change this year. Patriots make the playoffs, Packers don't. Only time will tell. Let's take a look now. No, the only team from the AFC that has clinched a playoff spot in the division is the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm pretty sure with the New England win this weekend, they will make the playoffs, officially clinch. In the NFC, the Eagles are the only team to punch their ticket in. The Minnesota Vikings win one game, they win the North. So they're hounding in. So it's going to be an interesting last 3 weeks as usual. Let's see. The Eagles can clinch a first-round bye with a win. Home field advantage throughout the playoffs with a win and a Minnesota loss. Minnesota can clinch the playoffs this weekend with a win or losses by Detroit and Green Bay. The Rams can clinch a playoff berth with a win and a loss, or losses by Green Bay, Detroit, Atlanta, and New Orleans. So that's a little tough task to ask. That's the only. So the Rams, Vikings, and Eagles. Well, Rams and Vikings can clinch playoff berths this weekend if they get some wins and some help.
That'll be accepted, of course, and that moves them back 5.
Eagles can get a first-round bye and home field advantage with some help. Pittsburgh can get a first-round bye with a win. So simple for the state of Pennsylvania. We could have Pennsylvania Super Bowl, which would be interesting to see. Oh, excuse me. They can get home field advantage throughout the AFC with a win and a Jacksonville loss. That's right, because Jacksonville has a tiebreaker. Oh, goodness. Jacksonville has a tiebreaker over the Steelers because they beat them head-to-head. And just thinking Jacksonville, Pittsburgh, and New England can all have the same record, so on and so forth. And Jacksonville could have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Could they even fill up their stadium for those 2 games? At least for the one game. New England can clinch the East with a win or a Buffalo loss. and can clinch a playoff berth with a Buffalo loss as well. No, Jacksonville can clinch a playoff berth, I think, for the first time in 10 years. With a win. They win, they're in. Or losses by Baltimore and Buffalo. Baltimore and Buffalo. Or losses by Baltimore and Kansas City versus the Chargers. Game does not end in a tie. Interesting there. That's it for playoff scenarios. I also forgot. I backtracked to the Browns just for a split second. You know, they almost got their first win this season, but they came up short. Also, this past week, I think I mentioned they fired their general manager and hired a new one. I think last week I got the names mixed up, who the Browns fired and so forth. Well, let's see if I can find who they fired. Oh, yes, here we go. No, that's the wrong thing.
And that
Front
will stretch the
office.
lead up to 13. So yet another field goal to end
In
the
season,
drive.
I
That has
want.
been a very
Oh yeah,
common
the
theme each
Giants,
time
they
we
fired their
climb up
general
into this
manager.
game.
The Browns fired Sashi Brown, and they hired John Dorsey. I think I mentioned that they fired John Dorsey, but anyways, they hired John Dorsey, former. He was with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Green Bay Packers and so on and so forth. And some question came around how quickly they hired him. They said that they hired him because they didn't want the New York Giants to get him. But you know, hey, sooner the better. But the question came in was the Rooney Rule, which has been in place, I don't know, for at least 10, maybe 15 years now, maybe 20. More or less, the NFL wants teams to interview minority coaches, personnel, so everyone has an equal opportunity to be hired, which is okay, understandable. You don't want to just, blackball some people, no pun intended, or no, and like everyone gets some, here's this guy, he's just because he's black, native, woman, doesn't mean they're not fit for the job. But in all honesty, if a team is looking for a coach, looking for a GM, they know who they want. They still have to go through this to some degree pointless interview process. Be like, hey, you come here. We're going to interview you. Good. Hey, NFL. We made sure we did our minority interview, so we can check that off. But we're going to hire Billy Bob because that's who we want. And I don't know. This rule is kind of confusing. It's good and bad. Try to help minorities get in the NFL, so on and so forth. But I would hope in this day and age that we can look past that and hire the right person for the job. And obviously the Browns knew who they wanted. They interviewed him, hired him. Hey, you got the job. So do we really need to enforce the Rooney Rule? Yeah, sure, maybe, but I mean, how it can be used, it can be abused real easily, and it's just, could be just a joke. But I would hope teams, front offices don't, overlook qualified people for positions and hire the best person for the job and who you want. So hopefully the Browns can get back on track. Who knows who the Giants might hire as general manager? Who knows? Might be getting fired, let go in this offseason. So only time will tell, and so on and so forth.
What a catch. It's a big play there for the Steelers. 45
Okay.
yards.
What we got now? We got 2:41 left. Or is that 2:44 left in the game? And Ben Roethlisberger. Oh, and that was Juju Smith-Schuster. You know, and 22-9 is the score right now. And of course it's under review. But actually, one more thing before I get to the games this week. Little incident happening between the Jacksonville Jags and the Seattle Seahawks. Near the end of the game, Jacksonville's gonna take a victory formation, run out the clock, just to get the game over with. And Seattle was not happy with that. The defense got a little chippy. Not some punches, but some cheap plays, what you could say. The defense trying to get in there on the victory formation, hurry up some guys. This net, I don't know how this, but the real interesting part that happened was I think there was an ejection, and I forget the Seahawks player that was ejected. But as he's heading to the locker room, Jacksonville fans are yelling and throwing stuff at him, throwing beer at him. And that ticks him off, and he wants to start climbing into the stands, go after those fans. And it's like, come on. In the post-game interview, he gets asked, or he explains, I'm a human being and stuff like this. Fans don't have a right to do this. What am I supposed to do? Just take it. Look it up. Look into it. I don't know what else to say. Just that.
Yeah, they've been down there. They've been in enemy territory.
Another newsworthy and something this one. And of course, what was it? The Bills and the Colts played in a foot of snow this past week. And the old question becomes, is that football weather or is that torture? And in my mind, that's football weather. Say what you will, do what you want, but anyways, let's move on to the games this week. We have
get set as we resume action.
Broncos and Colts for Thursday night. Bears, Lions, and Chargers, Chiefs on Saturday. Dolphins, Bills, Sunday. Browns, Ravens, Texans, Jags, Jets, Saints, Eagles, Giants, Cardinals, Redskins, Rams, Seahawks, Patriots, Steelers, Titans, 49ers, Packers, Carolina. Sunday night game, Cowboys, Raiders, and Monday night, Atlanta and Tampa Bay. So we got a handful of good games this week. I mean, I already told you what teams need to win. Trying to think what would be my lock. You know what? The Eagles, Philly, over NYG is my guaranteed pick of the week. My upset is going to be Green Bay over Carolina, just because good old number 12, Aaron Rodgers, is back, and just he's ready to pounce. And last week I did go 3-0, I think, for the first time ever. And now this game. Dive on this game just for a little bit before I look at some of the other ones. The question becomes, Pittsburgh's been riding on this winning streak for, I think, since losing to Jacksonville. And the question becomes, can they finally get past the Patriots? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They've won 7 in a row. Last game they lost, the Steelers, was to Jacksonville. And just like the last 4 weeks, 3 of the last 4 weeks, it comes down. They're trying to make this come down to the last play. They're hurry up. They only got 40 seconds and time's running out. They spiked the ball. With the talent that Pittsburgh has, with Ben Roethlisberger, with Le'Veon Bell, with Antonio Brown, the best quarterback, running back, wide receiver combo trio, you would think they would have been to the Super Bowl 2 or 3 times already with them. But their defense just hasn't been the same like it has been in the past. And I think that, that's what catches up with them. I mean, last week, Ben Roethlisberger, he had his third 500-yard passing game. First quarterback to do so. He broke the tie they had with Drew Brees.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty
So,
good about it. The only people celebrating.
Pittsburgh has a good chance, opportunity to pull themselves away from New England, dominate themselves, get home field advantage throughout the playoffs, and thrive. Because I think that's the one thing that's killed them is playing on the road. They're a totally different team on the road. They get home field. They have a good shot of making the Super Bowl. Ooh, tip ball. Oh, incomplete. What is it now? 3rd and 20 with 29 seconds left. Time's running out. We'll see if Madden can get this right or not. But their last 3 remaining games for the Steelers: Patriots, at Houston, hosting Cleveland. And, maybe that's where Cleveland wins their first game. The Sunday night game, Cowboys at Raiders. Interesting, but I feel like it's just going to be a bunch of yellow hankies on the field.
Sometimes when you're on the end, a little bit farther away.
Besides that, the only other exciting one, how will Aaron Rodgers do in his game back? How will Rodgers do from that broken collarbone? Is it fully healed? Will he be ready? And can he,
a long way to go for the offense here on
take a sack? Land on that right shoulder. Are you afraid it's going to break again? Who knows? Let's see. Oh, what the? Ben Roethlisberger bunts to his own guy. Oh, and now he's sacked. Time's ticking. 4th down. Game's on the line. I know I jump around a lot, but here we go. 10, 9. Roethlisberger takes the snap. Moves around. He runs up. Oh, and he's sacked. He's sacked. 4 seconds left. New England's going to win. So it's not Pittsburgh's day. I don't know. Pittsburgh has played a lot of close games as of late. The only one that wasn't as close was the Thursday night game against Tennessee. But they snuck out a victory with a field goal in Indianapolis. They snuck out a field goal against Green Bay, who even with if Aaron Rodgers was under center, it still could have been the same result. And they eked out a win over Cincinnati the following week, and then eked out a win against Baltimore at home. So I feel like Pittsburgh's time is coming to an end. And, after Tom Brady got humiliated by Jay Cutler, Brady and company with Gronk back as his number 1 target, Tom Brady is going to be ready to strike back. So, anyways, Madden is picking New England to end Pittsburgh's winning streak. We'll find out. I mean, in all honesty, you know what? I like that pick. I think Pittsburgh is going to take care of business, but that doesn't mean Pittsburgh won't be looking for revenge come the playoffs if they meet. So that'll do it for me this week. Thank you for watching. Enjoy football. We got football on Thursday night. Last Thursday night game of the season. Thank you. No more color rush. Last Thursday night game of the season. 2 games on Saturday. Rest on Sunday besides Monday Night Football. So until next week, thanks for watching and enjoy some football.